I ended yesterday's video on a bit of a cliffhanger, because to decide whether you really should finish the CDT season, it all rests on this, the Batmobile. I don't think I've ever had high stakes for anything, but guess we kinda do now, so let's find out. How good's the Batmobile? Here we go. I am not the night. I'm not dark. I'm not brooding. I'm not for vengeance. I am nothing like Batman. I am an idiot. With a load of cool cars, and they're not even real, but, you know, and a lack of driving talent. And a duty to review any car that crosses my path in Dealership Tycoon or Car Dealership Tycoon. But today the two paths have crossed, so Batman's Batmobile. Unimaginative name, imaginative design. Some of them. I'm told this one isn't exactly the most brilliant of the Batmobiles from my Batman loving friend. And to be honest, yeah, I see why. I know this is a fake model. In fact, the fake model was even changed in the week that season 13 was off the books. It just looks like a really dull spearhead. Wouldn't even call it the spearhead from space like I did for the McLaren Solus GT. Just, the blunt spear. You know, essentially a sparring spearhead. It's really badly designed, to be honest. I do not like it. It's got to be the least interesting Batmobile from the ones I've looked at. And do you want to know the worst bit in CDT? Apparently the little, the white circle that you can see on the back is supposed to have fire that comes out of it, but you just get a little bit of flame every time you change gear, which is rubbish. I will be honest, I have now pretty much drained all the information there is on this exact Batmobile. Fortunately, there are other Batmobiles. I can't remember which generation one this is. Really. But, there are some other cool Batmobiles and cars driven by Batman. Personally, I think the coolest one is the one from the 1960s, which is actually based on, I think, a Lincoln concept car. Either way, it looks really cool, but also not stupidly impractical. It's quite sleek and nice, without looking comical like this one. But I think probably the coolest car that's well known in Batman circles is... Hold on, I've got to get the film right here. The Lamborghini Murcielago, driven in The Dark Knight. Please don't shout at me, Batman fans, I have no idea about your franchise. Anyway, the reason that the Murcielago was actually driven in that film, if it was that film, is because Murcielago is Spanish for bat. There, I am literally Duolingo, guys. I use Duolingo far too much. Anyway, I think the thing that's been, common with all the Batmobile throughout the years is big-ass jet engine. Yeah. I think you can see it on the back here. Nice, I guess. But, they've kept that thing in common. And look, I'm stuck. This thing is hopelessly impractical. What were they thinking with this? I do not see how you're going to be able to use this on the road, but let's just find out how good it is. It's not often that I do this, But when I was driving this car around in the few shots you saw before this, I genuinely had to double check that it wasn't tuned. Because this thing is quick. Silly quick. I have not experienced a standard car that's quick like this in quite a long time. I genuinely do not understand how it can be so quick, because it's so big. Turns out that jet rocket thing in the back, maybe it isn't just for show. However, the performance positives are counteracted by the handling negatives. Check out this understeer. Check out the body roll. Check out the fact that it feels like I am driving a rhinoceros. Seriously, what the hell is this? I mean, you're supposed to be, front-wheel drive cars. There's the ones that are supposed to understeer. This has power going to the front wheels. It also has power going to the rears. Not that you can feel it, because this thing understeers horrendously. It flipped over. It flipped over. This is supposed to be a low-to-the-ground, evil, mean machine. But no, it's a comically handling, comical-looking piece of junk that tips at the side of a corner. Like, look at this body roll. And does not have decent brakes. What a junk piece. And then we get to the corners. And it's weird. It's very weird. Because you get this sort of... There is some grip that's constantly trying to scrabble itself back while I'm hooning this car around. I have never had this sensation before in this game, but it's like the car is fighting its own traction control. Now, I'm pretty sure this car does not have traction control. But for some reason it feels like it's having an argument with it. I'm genuinely confused. In fact, I'm not just confused, I'm confused.com. That was a terrible pun, I'm never saying that again. Seriously though, it's so weird. It's genuinely mental. I don't get how you can make a car feel like this. And that's why I'm just not even focusing on the fact that it's not actually a bad drifter. It's just because it feels like it's fighting its own traction control. This is just a car full of impossible things. I was going to talk about how I reckon this is going to be very chaotic on the race circuit, but the chaos is actually starting before the race. What the hell is happening? Well, what's going to happen if I rev it up? Because this car has a little nifty trick where if you rev it up and then launch, it wheelies. But you can't really see that, but you're about to see it when I rev it up and launch it for the circuit. So, 2, 1, and wheelie. Oh yeah, and because of the slope on the circuit, it will hook to the right. Not the best idea. So, you feel the understeer. Look at it. Heavy. Cack. But then on the straights you get all that power and it's really good. Jesus Christ. Whoa. Yeah, this is a dangerous, dangerous car. I reckon that this would be better suited as a boat than a car, because it is in fact a land yacht. Although, my bad driving may have had an effect on it, which led to a 45.3 second lap time. So, should you finish the season for this car? Because that's the question I asked for the Nissan Skyline, and instead I left you on a cliffhanger for today. Should you do it? I'm just going to say no. I'm really sorry, but it's a no from me. This is essentially just a diluted dragster. But it's hopelessly impractical. turns rubbishly, feels like it's fighting its own traction control when you try and drift, and worst of all, it's not even good looking. So, on that terrible, terrible disappointment, I'm sorry. Chevrolet Silverado 1500 video coming soon.